This podcast brought to you by Basecrete, leaders in waterproof bond coatings for the swimming pool and construction industry.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Pool Magazine Podcast. Today I'm here with Anthony Perera. He's the CEO of Inspected.com. Is that correct, Anthony?
That's correct. CEO and founder. Yep.
Okay. Could you give me a little bit of backstory about what Inspected.com is all about?
Yeah. So I'll kind of give you the whole backstory, starting with how Inspected came to be and kind of where it's gone and what our goal is. So I'm actually an HVAC contractor by trade. On a pretty large HVAC company that operates in 14 different locations across 6 different states currently. And I like to use this term pretty loosely. Pre-COVID, we struggled with the ideology of the inefficiencies that were involved with the permitting process. And so we tried to build a solution that would attack that, and initially went after the cities with it to provide the cities with a tool that will allow them to do virtual inspections. So we developed a patent pending technology that geolocates a video conference call to a specific job site. And with that, we built out all the cool features that we now have in our Inspected platform. And we realized, with the passing of a lot of the municipal updates and House bills across the country, that these different municipalities were allowing for third-party contractor or third-party providers to do single trade inspections around the country. And so that's kind of how and why Inspected was born.
So this is like a virtual inspection product, basically, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we essentially replace the city inspector on job sites. So, gone are the days where you would have, let's use a pool, for example, you get to a certain stage in that pool inspection, you have to stop the project and call the city inspector to inspect that inspection. We're able to do that in real time. So the efficiencies that can create when that crew is at that phase in the project, they can then, join one of our, licensed inspectors virtually using our technology at that specific time that they requested. We'll be there for them to do the inspection on their behalf.
What type of services are usually provided in a virtual pool inspection, Anthony? I mean, I know that virtual inspections have become pretty popular over the last 2 years. I mean, what kind of services are you offering?
Yeah, I mean, specific to the pool industry, we're offering obviously plan reviews, pre-inspection kind of stuff. And then during the inspection, we can actually inspect essentially the entire process from start to finish. So we become the go-to source, and we help build those efficiencies within our contractors' businesses.
What's different about a virtual pool inspection than, say, a regular on-site inspection? Like, how does that process work? Maybe you could walk me through it.
Yeah, I mean, it's super similar, right? Because the contractor becomes the avatar for our inspector, right? So we have our checklist based on municipalities that we have to inspect per the local municipality. And then we run through the checklist. We take the photos, the proper documentation, ensure that all the quality standards and code standards are being met. And just it's the same process you would have if the inspector came on site as we would do virtually. Because as I said, the contractor becomes the avatar. So our inspectors are driving the contractor around the job site. Show me this, show me that. Let me see this. Let me see this pipe. Let me see that. And able to document all these processes. And actually, in our minds, it's actually one step further, because 9 times out of 10, when the current city inspector comes out to that job site, they're just visualizing it. They're not actually documenting what they're seeing or have any record of it. So in our world, we actually document, take photos, store all that, store the video, have it for a quality control perspective, not just for us, but for our contractors as well, to recall and for training purposes, for whatever it may be, for future use.
What are the types of limitations of virtual inspections from a technology standpoint? I mean, you're doing the same thing that we're doing right now. Are you in a Zoom call with them? Are you in like a Google Meet with them? I mean, how does this whole thing work?
Yeah, so our technology is obviously proprietary. We don't use Zoom or Google. We actually have our own video conferencing platform. But essentially, as you would join a video conferencing call, like you would do any of those other platforms that you mentioned, our technology actually geolocates that call to that job site. So we know that ABC Pools is actually at 123 Main Street versus 576 Main Street. So that entire process, we're verifying the address, and then we're documenting. As I mentioned earlier, some of the cool features we have is our ability to take live photos from still video. We can annotate on those videos, and we can obviously go through the checklist of requirements that are required to pass this inspection, all virtually. So it's essentially the same process, right? if the inspector came on the job site, he has his checklist and his clipboard, and he walks through and checks off the different things he has to look for based on the requirements for whatever you're building or whatever current phase of the project is. We're doing that essentially, and as I mentioned, the contractor becomes that avatar, right? So they're walking around and we're directing them. Show us this pipe. Show us this, this framing. Show us whatever the steps are for that specific inspection. And now we're able to actually have that record and actually document that. So we're taking still photos of that live video that are also all geolocated to that job site.
So these are all trained and experienced construction inspectors. I mean, they're just doing the job virtually, basically. So they're going through their normal punch list of what they would look for on the job site, and they're using the contractor that's on site as their hands, more or less. Is that right, Anthony?
For sure, 100%. You hit the nail on the head, right? So all of our inspectors are either ICC certified or state certified to be inspectors in that trade. 1 and 2 family inspectors, whatever different delineations that we have in our organization. We've also partnered with International Code Council, their municipal arm, that they have as their remote virtual inspection software of choice. So we take our licensure and our training very seriously here at Inspected, and so all of our guys are doing things above the requirements typically, and beyond what a city would normally do. And it's usually, and the crazy thing about it is that we're able to do that and build that much more efficiency in that same process. So a typical inspection may take 20, 30 minutes, but you're usually waiting around for hours for the inspector to show up. We're doing it at the time you schedule, when you want us there, virtually, and our average inspection on inspected.com is sub 10 minutes because we're that efficient.
What can you tell us about the limitations of the product? I mean, basically, what can't it do? I mean, what is a virtual inspection unable to do that you would be able to do on a normal inspection?
Yeah, I mean, so we haven't built smell vision yet, but everything else visually, if you could see it, with your 2 eyes, we can see it. I guess if you had a limit, the limitation I think that we would only have is we can't really smell. We can't touch, but we can definitely look, and you can touch, and we can kind of relate that and capture that whole kind of interaction. But as technology improves and as we continue to expand our technology and our AI on our platform, I see it being limitless, right? I mean, as we continue to improve our options and features and new product placements inside Inspected, I think we're going to get even more and more creative on what we can do with virtual inspections.
Have you been doing a lot of virtual pool inspections this year, Anthony?
For sure, especially with the big issue or big requirement within Austin and our affiliation there, and what we're trying to do to help with those contractors. Pools have become a really big proportion of our business.
I read that that new Austin City Council code involving third-party inspections of residential pools. Maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of go into the whole concept of third-party inspectors. Like the ideology of third-party inspectors has been around for decades. I mean, the big track home builders, Lennar, Pulte, whatever they may be, they're not sitting around waiting for Mr. Bob, the pool inspector from the city of Austin to show up at the job site, right? They have, third-party inspectors who are on their jobs, on standby, waiting when they're needed. And we kind of replaced that and did that for the single trade inspections. And I just think that's where the whole industry goes. I think, a lot of these municipalities are strapped for inspectors. I think the building boom has created an influx in need for inspections, and they just can't handle the volume. So they're spinning off some of the liability and not liability, but some of the strain that some of these trades are putting on the cities. And one of them, obviously, in Austin, is pools. And I think what they're doing and what they've done is in my mind, the start what's to come around the country, right? Because that's going to really take effect as we continue in this big building cycle and building boom, and the lack of inspectors and those inspectors who are leaving for better jobs in private companies who have more free time, and I think that's where it's going.
They're not the only ones that are going this route. There's more and more cities and states that are taking on third-party inspections, virtual inspections in particular. I mean, I saw that Florida recently enacted a law permitting virtual inspections. Do you see this becoming more prevalent in more states in 2022?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Florida's leading the charge. I think other states, and as I mentioned, the use of third-party inspectors, just not in a virtual sense, but in general, has been around for decades. It's been, prior providers are almost in every state mandate or state statute around the union. I think they're going to get more specific as to what they can do virtually versus non-virtually. And I think that as technology has advanced and come up, and with the advent of companies like Inspected.com, I see it being the norm. You see it already happening. You see municipalities requiring municipal support from private providers because they don't have the inspectors to handle the workload. And even then, right, the process is so archaic. Hopping in a truck, driving, 20 miles, 30 miles, whatever it may be, 20, 30 minutes to a job site, getting out, going back, meeting contractors on. I mean, the process is prime and ready for the efficiencies that our product brings to the market. And I think it's where it's going to go. I mean, it's obvious.
How does a virtual inspection service help save consumers and builders time and money? I mean, like if you had to tell and impart one thing to any pool builder that may be listening to our podcast, all right, and is possibly thinking about switching over to a virtual inspection service, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, listen, as a contractor, first and foremost, I can tell you the efficiencies it created in our business. How many times, and I say this all the time when we talk about this, the subject is, how many times have you called a city inspector out to a job site and you're waiting around, 3, 4, 5 hours with a crew because your next stage is ready to start, but you can't do that because you're waiting to get this one phase of the product inspected before you move on. And it's not, I know it's specific to pools on this podcast, but it goes to every trade, roofing, generators, all that kind of stuff. And so, I think if you look at it from that perspective alone, just on the efficiencies you can create and not having to stop your jobs or slow your jobs or progress down because you're able to call the inspector virtually, have that inspection done at that process and move on. And we also do, again, the virtual plan review process. A lot of these cities are backed up weeks and months with getting plan reviews done to even approve the building plans for the jobs are starting. And so we've really found a big efficiency gap there that we've helped fill for a lot of our clients with helping them with the plan review process and obviously the inspection process. So we're trying to offer, end-to-end solution for our clients where that when they start a project, they're calling inspected first. We'll do the plan reviews for them, and then we're setting up the inspection cycle as they're ready. And, when the crews get done with a certain stage of that project, bam, we're on the call for them, inspecting it. There's an issue, resolve the issue, call us back. We'll get it corrected. Same day, right? You have to reschedule, pay a re-inspection fee. There's no delay there at all. And so again, we're building these efficiencies that are just so obvious, right? That no one's ever addressed. And I think that's for all the pool contractors out there listening, you guys, they understand what efficiencies are in their business, right? They want to use as many crews as they can. They want to sell as many projects as they can, complete the projects and get paid. And we're a resource to help them do that in a quicker way.
That's fantastic. I mean, honestly, the industry has seen unprecedented growth in the last 2 years. There's more people than ever right now that actually want a pool, they can't get a pool, and there's a backlog these construction companies have, just customers waiting to get a hole in the ground. I mean, adding something like this to the arsenal probably adds a lot of firepower, in terms of adding more horsepower to your team, and you free yourself up to do more things because you have a virtual appliance. I mean, that's great stuff. I mean, how is Inspected.com looking to partner with the pool industry?
Yeah, listen, it starts with getting boots on the ground in local markets and kind of telling our story, right? And that's, a lot of pool contractors don't know that we even exist yet, or that this option even exists to them. And it's huge because it's not, we're not there to, we're there to help our clients succeed in their businesses. And so as we get the story out and as we, start talking to different alliances and, like the great people at the Austin Pool Alliance, fantastic group of people, and they understand the pain that they're in, especially with their requirements now by the city. And so that's kind of our model, is to go out and talk to the contractors, set up demos, set up webinars, show them what our product can do for them, help them understand the efficiencies we create for them, and keeps telling our story.
Oh, that's great stuff. I mean, we talk to a lot of pool builders in the industry, Anthony. If there's a specific company that wants to think about doing business with inspected.com and has maybe some questions about what the entire process is about, could they reach out to you for like a one-on-one like we're doing kind of right now and just ask you some questions and pick your brain?
Yeah, 100%. You can go on the website, inspected.com, very simple. Can't forget it. Fill out a contact link. We'll schedule a one-on-one demo, show you the product, walk you through it, send you a link. You can actually do an inspection with us and have the conversation. It's a super easy conversation, and most contractors get it, right? They understand. They can see it just from visualizing what we do and how easy it is to do with our product and our process.
Well, terrific. I appreciate you stopping by today and telling us a little bit more about the product and getting into the weeds with me about virtual inspections. Thank you so much for your time today, Anthony.
Anytime. Love to have another conversation. So thank you for having us, and I appreciate the time today.
That's all the time we have today. A huge thank you to our sponsor, Basecrete, the leaders in waterproof bond coats for the swimming pool industry. Please make sure to subscribe, and we look forward to catching you next time on another episode of Pool Magazine Podcast.